Have you ever wondered why certain people captivate a room without saying anything? They don't beg for attention. They don't chase approval. Yet something about them is magnetic. That's not charisma. That's presence. And in today's video, we're diving into 11 powerful habits that will help you develop this quiet, grounded energy that makes people listen, respect, and remember you, without ever needing to raise your voice. Stay with me, because this kind of presence isn't loud, but it echoes. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The loudest voice isn't always the strongest. In fact, the people who move through life with calm confidence, those who speak little but are heard deeply, often hold the real influence. This video isn't about charm or showmanship. It's about building a presence so steady, so centered, that people are drawn to you without even knowing why. If you're ready to cultivate that silent power, these 11 habits rooted in Stoic wisdom will show you how. Blank. Underscore. Blank. What if the most attractive thing about you wasn't your words, your style, or your status, but your stillness? In a world obsessed with loud voices and constant validation, there's something incredibly rare and powerful about someone who's deeply grounded in who they are. In this episode, we'll explore 11 habits that unlock silent attractiveness, not to impress others, but to become someone who inspires respect without ever asking for it. The transformation starts now. Have you ever met someone who walks into a room and instantly captures everyone's attention? Not because they're loud, dramatic, or dressed to impress, but because they carry an undeniable presence. Something about them just feels grounded, effortlessly magnetic. That's the essence of silent attractiveness. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room or trying to dominate conversations. It's about exuding an inner calm, a quiet strength that speaks louder than words ever could. It's the kind of energy that makes people pause, look, and feel drawn in, not out of curiosity, but out of admiration. Think of someone who doesn't need to speak much, yet their presence lingers long after they've left. Silent attractiveness isn't dependent on looks, fancy clothes, or status symbols. It's born from within, how you carry yourself, how you treat others, and how deeply comfortable you are with who you are. It's the result of mastering habits that project confidence, respect, and quiet dignity. And here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to become someone else to embody this kind of presence. You only need to peel back the noise and align more deeply with your authentic self. In this episode, we'll explore 11 timeless habits, rooted in Stoic wisdom, that help you cultivate this magnetic energy. These are not quick tricks or surface-level tactics. They're powerful practices that help you build emotional intelligence, inner stability, and a quiet self-confidence that naturally draws people in. We're talking about embracing true independence, cultivating elegance without words, living with wisdom, and becoming someone whose presence alone changes the dynamic of a room. By the time we finish, you'll begin to understand that real attractiveness isn't something you need to perform, it's something you embody. It's not loud, it's not demanding, but it leaves an impression that echoes. So let's begin with habit 1. Embrace your authentic independence. There's something incredibly powerful about a person who doesn't seek validation from others. A quiet confidence that says, I know who I am, and I'm okay with that. This is authentic independence. It's not about closing off your heart or pretending you don't need connection. It's about being rooted in your values and finding fulfillment from within, not from applause or approval. People are instinctively drawn to those who radiate self-trust. In a world of constant comparison and social pressure, someone who stands firm in their individuality becomes a breath of fresh air. They're not trying to outshine anyone. They're simply walking their path, steady, grounded, and clear. Authentic independence whispers, "I respect myself." It's a kind of quiet defiance against the culture of needing to be seen, liked, or celebrated. You won't have to convince people you're confident. They'll feel it in how you walk, in your calm gaze, and the way you respond instead of react. But let's be honest, being independent isn't easy. It's walking forward even when no one claps. It's choosing your values when everyone else is chasing trends. It's enjoying your own company not out of loneliness, but out of peace. That kind of wholeness makes your relationships deeper, not because you need others, but because you're able to connect from a place of strength, not lack. To develop this habit, start by asking, am I living true to what matters most to me, or just reacting to what others expect? Begin spending time alone, not as an escape, but as a way to reconnect with your core. Take walks, reflect in silence, write down your thoughts. This process refines your sense of self. When you build authentic independence, you won't have to chase attention. People will notice your grounded presence. They'll see the strength in your silence. They'll respect you, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it by living in alignment. And here's the beauty. Authentic independence isn't about distancing yourself from others. It's about showing up whole, so that every connection you make is real, respectful, and rooted in mutual strength. That's what makes it so rare and so incredibly magnetic. Now, let's move into the second habit, one that builds upon this foundation of inner strength. There's something unmistakably powerful about an aura of quiet sophistication. Silent elegance doesn't mean pretending to be something you're not. It's not about putting on a show or following trends. It's about embracing exactly who you are, fully, confidently, and calmly. It's about showing up not to impress, but to be present with intention, grace, and quiet strength. Over time, people begin to associate you with a sense of calm, poise, and deep-rooted respect. They may not be able to articulate why, but they feel it every time you enter a room. That's the magic of silent elegance. It doesn't clamor for attention, but it leaves a profound, lasting impression. When you master this quiet art, you walk through life with dignity. You don't chase admiration, it finds you. And that, in itself, is inspiring. Others begin to notice not just how you carry yourself, but how you make them feel more composed in your presence. They feel invited to mirror that calmness, that respect, that quiet refinement. Now, let's talk about something often overlooked but deeply powerful. Habit 3. The subtle scent of sophistication. Sometimes, it's the smallest, most subtle detail that leaves the most vivid impression. The scent you wear, yes, even that, can become part of your silent magnetism. It's not about dousing yourself in perfume or cologne. It's about leaving behind a refined trace of your presence, something faint, clean, elegant, a sensory signature that lingers, whispering, "I take care of myself." Think back. Have you ever remembered someone just because of the way they smelled? Scent is deeply tied to memory and emotion. A gentle, well-chosen fragrance communicates personal care, attention to detail, and self-respect, without you saying a word. But this isn't just about perfume. It's about overall presence. It's about balance and restraint. An overpowering scent can feel intrusive. But a fresh, subtle fragrance, perhaps woody, citrusy, or lightly floral, creates an inviting atmosphere around you. Even the clean, crisp scent of well-maintained hygiene says more than you realize. This quiet layer of sophistication tells the world that you value the details. That you show up with intention, even in how you smell. And that's powerful. But beyond the scent itself, sophistication shows up in your self-care rituals. It's in your grooming, your posture, your clean clothes, your breath. These aren't acts of vanity. They are acts of self-respect. You're silently communicating, I value myself. I honor my presence in the world. Seneca once said, let your outward appearance be simple and dignified, reflecting the serenity of your mind. The Stoics didn't obsess over fashion or appearance. They believed your exterior should align with your inner peace. When that happens, when how you care for yourself mirrors who you are inside, you become effortlessly compelling. So start small. Be intentional with your self-care. Choose a scent that feels like you. Keep your grooming clean and subtle. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. And in that consistency, you cultivate a lasting impression. One that doesn't need to shout to be remembered. Let's now move to habit 4, being fully present. In a world filled with noise and distraction, presence has become a rare and powerful gift. Being fully present doesn't just mean showing up physically. It means truly showing up, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. It's the quiet habit of giving your undivided attention to the moment and the people in it. You've likely experienced the opposite, speaking to someone whose mind is clearly elsewhere. Their eyes flick to their phone. Their answers are distracted, and you're left feeling dismissed. Now contrast that with someone who looks you in the eye, listens intently, and responds with genuine interest. That kind of presence makes you feel seen, heard, respected. That's the silent power of presence. You don't have to dominate a room to stand out. Just by being here fully, you already offer something incredibly rare, genuine connection. Being present is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It means resisting the urge to multitask or drift into your thoughts. It means putting away the phone and leaning into the conversation. It means truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak. The Stoics knew the power of this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. Because when you're rooted in the now, you're grounded, you're in control of your emotions, your reactions, and your energy." Presence is also about awareness. Noticing the tone behind someone's words. Sensing the unspoken emotions in the room. Being fully tuned in allows you to respond with empathy and insight. That's the heart of social intelligence, and when it's paired with authentic presence, it becomes quietly magnetic. To cultivate this, start by practicing mindfulness in daily conversations. Ask yourself, am I really here right now? Slow your responses. Tune in. Let the other person feel your attention. When you offer true presence, you leave people feeling better after interacting with you. Not because of what you said, but because of how deeply you were there. That's the kind of impact that doesn't fade. And as we journey deeper into the habits of silent attraction, we'll uncover another essential trait, one that bridges calm presence with emotional wisdom. Start by practicing mindfulness in the small, everyday moments. Whether you're chatting with a friend, enjoying a quiet meal, or simply walking in nature, allow yourself to be completely immersed in that experience. Put your phone away. Let the noise of the world fade. Listen more than you speak. When you show up fully, something shifts. You begin to radiate a calm, grounded presence that others instinctively respond to. Why? Because presence is magnetic. In a world where everyone is multitasking, where attention is constantly divided, being fully present is rare and powerful. It's not about being flashy or putting on a show. It's about offering someone the priceless gift of your undivided focus. When you give someone your full attention, you're silently saying, "You matter." And that message, though unspoken, is never forgotten. Being present isn't about grand gestures, it's built in the small, consistent acts of showing up. It's about being mentally, emotionally, and energetically tuned in. You'll find that people open up to you more. Conversations deepen. Relationships become more meaningful, almost effortlessly. Presence builds trust, and trust, when it grows from respect and real connection, becomes the foundation of silent attraction. In the chaos of modern life, be the person who really listens. Be the one who's grounded, unshaken by distractions. You might be surprised how magnetic that quiet focus becomes, not because you're trying to stand out, but because you make others feel genuinely seen. And that leads us to habit 5, a touch of mystery. In a culture obsessed with sharing every detail, mystery has become a rare treasure. There's something deeply attractive about a person who keeps part of themselves just out of reach. A sense of intrigue that invites curiosity. A presence that says, "There's more to me than meets the eye." Now, mystery isn't about being secretive or distant. It's about balance, knowing what to share, and what to leave unsaid. It's about understanding that not everything needs to be explained. Sometimes, silence speaks more powerfully than any words ever could. When you reveal your entire life story up front, there's nothing left to discover. But when you keep certain elements of your life sacred, you create space for others to wonder, to want to know more. This isn't manipulation, it's natural human psychology. People are wired to be curious. When they sense layers, they lean in. But here's the key. Being mysterious doesn't mean being fake. It means being intentional. Share what's meaningful, but don't feel the need to over-explain. Let your actions carry the message. Make a bold move, let it stand on its own. Don't rush to justify. That quiet confidence, "I don't need your approval to be at peace with my choices," is magnetic. The Stoics, too, valued this. Epictetus once said, "Be silent, or let your words be worth more than silence." The art of mystery lives in this wisdom. Sometimes restraint says more than revelation ever could. Another way to cultivate mystery? Live a layered life. Be someone who has depth, interests, passions, experiences that don't all surface at once. Let people discover you gradually, like unfolding a story, one chapter at a time. Each interaction should reveal something new, making your presence feel engaging, dynamic, and alive. Ask yourself, Am I oversharing because I want to be understood? Or am I allowing space for connection to grow over time? Let people earn access to your deeper layers. That not only protects your peace but makes every moment of connection more meaningful. Mystery doesn't shout, it whispers. It leaves a trail that makes people want to follow. In a world where most are open books, be a compelling story with a few pages left to turn. Now let's transition into habit 6, cultivating cultural wisdom. There's a distinct elegance in someone who carries quiet confidence mixed with a broad, open-minded understanding of the world. Cultural wisdom is one of the most overlooked forms of silent attractiveness. It's not about being a know-it-all or rattling off facts. It's about being someone who listens deeply, learns constantly, and approaches life with thoughtful insight. To cultivate cultural wisdom is to step outside your bubble. It means being curious, not just about places and languages, but about people, values, and traditions. It means caring enough to understand someone else's world before asking them to understand yours. Imagine a conversation with someone who doesn't just hear your words but understands where you're coming from. That level of empathy is rare and unforgettable. Cultural wisdom isn't just head knowledge, it's hard knowledge. It allows you to connect across backgrounds, beliefs, and life experiences. You become more than just interesting. You become someone who makes others feel understood. You invite dialogue, not debate. You listen without rushing to speak. You hold space for different views with grace. The Stoics believed in this kind of depth. Marcus Aurelius said, "Look beneath the surface. Let not the outward appearances mislead you." Cultural wisdom helps you do just that. See people as more than their labels. Life as more than what's visible. So how do you cultivate this? Start small. Read books that stretch your thinking. Watch films from different cultures. Ask real questions. Engage in conversations where your goal isn't to win, but to learn. And above all, listen, not just to words, but to the stories behind them. Cultural wisdom doesn't demand attention. It earns respect. It makes you adaptable, thoughtful, and undeniably compelling. And as we continue this journey through silently attractive habits, there's another one waiting to be uncovered. One that teaches us how to navigate criticism without losing our inner calm. You don't have to dominate a conversation to be unforgettable. In fact, the most captivating individuals are those who know the art of timing, when to speak, and more importantly, when to listen. There's a kind of quiet charm in someone who contributes not to impress, but to enrich. When you speak with humility, with sincerity, and with genuine curiosity, you create space for others to feel safe, respected, and heard. Ask yourself, am I truly open to learning from every person I meet? Because true cultural wisdom isn't about showing off how much you know, it's about how deeply you're willing to understand. When you bring that mindset to your interactions, you carry a quiet intelligence that draws people in, not because you're trying to seem impressive, but because you genuinely care about people and their perspectives. People naturally gravitate toward those who bring depth and warmth into a conversation. When your words are thoughtful and your presence grounded, others feel calmer around you. It's not about knowing all the right answers, it's about asking the right questions, listening with purpose, and offering insights that spark reflection. In today's world, where surface-level opinions are loud and constant, be the one who speaks with depth, grace, and calm authority. Let your wisdom show not as a performance, but as a way of being. That's the silent strength of cultural wisdom. It's not flashy, but it's unforgettable. Now, let's transition into habit 7, the heartbeat of compassion. In a world that's always rushing, always chasing the next thing, pausing to offer genuine kindness and empathy is revolutionary. Compassion isn't loud, it doesn't boast, but it's deeply, profoundly powerful. It's the silent heartbeat behind every meaningful connection. It's what makes others feel safe, seen, and valued in your presence. While many try to win admiration through charm or achievements, true connection often begins with simple humanity. Compassion isn't found in grand gestures, it's revealed in the little things. A patient ear, a soft smile, a moment of undivided attention when someone needs it most. Why is this so powerful? Because true kindness is rare. Most interactions are transactional. What can I get? But when you show up without expectations, offering warmth and presence, people notice, they remember, they feel something deeper, something real. Compassion builds bridges. It connects people on an emotional level and fosters trust that can't be forced. It's not about solving everyone's problems, it's about being there, fully, calmly, with care. Many misunderstand Stoicism as emotional detachment. But in reality, Stoic compassion is grounded in strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." That's not coldness, it's clarity. True Stoic compassion is about understanding others' struggles without losing your center. Being compassionate doesn't mean being soft or letting yourself be walked over. It's about balance, kindness without neediness, empathy without martyrdom, listening not to respond, but to understand. And let's not forget, compassion starts with you. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you want to show up for others, you must first be gentle with yourself. Forgive your own missteps. Speak to yourself kindly. Be patient with your own journey. That inner kindness becomes the foundation for the kindness you offer the world. So ask yourself, do people feel seen and valued when they're around me? If not always, that's okay. Compassion is a habit that grows. Start small. Listen with presence. Be kind even when it's inconvenient. And most importantly, stay grounded. People will remember you, not for what you said, but for how you made them feel when they needed it most. And that brings us to habit 8, laughter and joy. Few things in life are as magnetic as someone who carries lightness in their spirit. Laughter has a way of dissolving walls, easing tension, and connecting people across all divides. It's a universal language, a soft, powerful expression of joy that draws people in without effort. When you choose to embrace joy, not just in the highlights, but in life's little moments, you become someone others seek out. Not because you're always the life of the party, but because your presence feels like a breath of fresh air. A reminder that even in the midst of life's challenges, it's still okay to smile. Real strength isn't found in stoic silence or rigid composure. It's found in those who can laugh. Even when things are imperfect, laughter is resilience in disguise. It shows that you've made peace with life's uncertainties, that you can navigate chaos without letting it harden you. The Stoics understood this too. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And what better reaction than one that meets life's absurdities with humor? To smile when you could frown. To laugh when you could worry. That's true emotional mastery. Laughter builds belonging. It creates memories. Think of the people you're closest to. How many of those bonds were sealed through shared laughter? It's the glue of connection. It says, I see you, I accept you, and I enjoy you. But don't force it. This isn't about being a clown or the funniest person in the room. It's about allowing joy to rise naturally. About not taking yourself too seriously. About seeing the light, even on the grayest days. So if you want to become silently attractive, don't just chase confidence or composure. Cultivate joy. Let your smile be easy. Let your laugh be real. Because nothing draws people in quite like someone who brings warmth, lightness, and presence into every room they enter. And as we explore further, you'll discover another quality that takes silent magnetism even deeper, an inner stillness that isn't shaken by criticism, but strengthened by it. The challenges of life are inevitable, but choosing to focus on joy, that's a conscious act of strength. To build this habit, start by becoming more mindful of those small, fleeting moments that make you smile. When something makes you laugh, don't hold it back, let it in, share it. A funny thought, a light-hearted comment, or a moment of silliness, they may seem minor, but they carry immense power. Lean into the humor of your mistakes, not to diminish your effort, but to show that you're human, and that you're okay with that. When people see that you don't take yourself too seriously, they feel safe around you. That's where real connection begins, in shared laughter, in mutual humanity. It's also essential to surround yourself with people who uplift you. Those who make you laugh until your stomach hurts. Those who know how to find magic in the mundane. Joy is contagious, and when you make it a habit to seek and share it, you create an atmosphere where everyone feels more alive, more connected. Ask yourself, am I allowing joy into my daily life? Or am I too caught up in the weight of seriousness? Life doesn't always have to be heavy. There is incredible strength in someone who can smile through the storm, who can bring warmth to cold situations. That's the kind of emotional resilience people admire most. Silent attractiveness isn't about putting on a show. It's about cultivating qualities that leave a lasting impression. And joy, when expressed sincerely and shared freely, has a magnetic pull. You don't need to force it. Just start noticing the light, and let it shine through you. When you live joyfully, the people around you feel it. They remember how you made them feel lighter, more hopeful. That's what makes you unforgettable. Because even if they forget your words, they'll never forget your warmth. Now, let's turn to habit 9, the art of self-care. There's a quiet, unshakable power in someone who takes care of themselves, not out of vanity, but out of deep respect for their own well-being. Self-care isn't just a buzzword or a trend. It's a form of self-honoring, a way of saying, without a single word, I matter. True self-care goes far beyond skincare routines or occasional pampering. It's about consistency, about making space every day for the practices that help you feel grounded, energized, and centered. When you prioritize your health, physically, mentally, emotionally, you exude a calm, radiant energy that others can feel. Start with the basics: regular movement, nourishing food, quality sleep. You don't have to look like an athlete to embody discipline. Taking care of your body communicates silent strength. It tells the world, I respect this vessel that carries me. People pick up on that, whether they realize it or not. But self-care isn't just about the body, it's just as much about the mind. Life will test you, stress will find you, but when you have tools, meditation, journaling, stillness, boundaries, you build emotional resilience. That resilience shows up in the way you carry yourself, the way you handle chaos. Calm, focused, present. Seneca once said, "A sound mind in a sound body is a short but full description of a happy state." That's Stoic wisdom in its purest form. When you care for both mind and body, you cultivate inner harmony, and that harmony radiates outward. Another vital part of self-care? Boundaries. Knowing when to say no, when to unplug, when to walk away. When you protect your energy, you show others how to treat you. You don't become less kind, you become more intentional. People respect those who value themselves. Ask yourself, am I living in a way that reflects my self-worth? If not, start small. Set one boundary. Take one walk. Get one good night's rest. These small actions add up to a powerful life, one rooted in clarity, peace, and confidence. In the end, self-care is one of the most silently attractive habits you can practice. It's not loud. It doesn't demand attention. It simply speaks for itself. And when you show up for yourself consistently, you begin to glow from within. People feel that. They're drawn to it. And now, let's move into habit 10. Emotional intelligence and social awareness. There's something incredibly compelling about someone who truly understands the emotional landscape of a room. Someone who knows when to speak, when to pause, and when to simply listen. Emotional intelligence is not about controlling people or manipulating situations. It's about reading the moment with clarity and responding with grace. At its core, emotional intelligence means recognizing your own emotions and managing them well. It also means being attuned to the emotions of others, offering compassion instead of judgment, empathy instead of ego. Picture this. A heated conversation is unfolding. Emotions are high. Most people get caught in the fire. But the emotionally intelligent person doesn't add fuel. They pause. They observe. They respond with calm. That kind of presence is powerful. People gravitate toward it, especially in a world full of reactivity. Because at the end of the day, people remember not what you said, but how you made them feel. Emotional intelligence helps you create a safe space, a place where others feel seen and respected. It's not about dominating a conversation or always being right. It's about listening deeply, engaging with sincerity, and responding in a way that strengthens connection. These subtle behaviors leave a profound impact. And then there's social awareness, the ability to pick up on the tone of a room, the unsaid signals, the energy of those around you. It's knowing when to lead and when to step back, when to speak up and when to stay silent. The Stoics valued this greatly. Epictetus emphasized self-mastery, not just of your own mind, but in understanding others. That's true wisdom. As we turn the page, we'll explore one more quiet habit, perhaps the most powerful of all, one that lets you transform criticism into growth and obstacles into opportunities. Epictetus once taught that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. That wisdom lies at the heart of social awareness. It's not about being the loudest in the room, it's about engaging with sensitivity, listening deeply, and creating meaningful space for others. Social awareness gives you the ability to contribute to a conversation without overpowering it. It helps you sense the flow, the mood, the needs of those around you, and respond in a way that enhances, not disrupts. But it all starts with one powerful habit: self-awareness. Ask yourself, how do I usually react when emotions run high? This isn't about suppressing your feelings or pretending to be calm. It's about understanding your triggers and learning how to respond with balance. When you're in tune with yourself, when your emotions don't control your actions, you radiate a kind of calm confidence that others instinctively trust. Once self-awareness is in place, empathy naturally follows. And empathy doesn't require dramatic gestures. It's in the small things: a gentle nod, a moment of silence, a patient ear. Often, it's not about solving problems but simply showing you care. Those moments of quiet understanding are what people carry with them. Social awareness also means being mindful of the energy you bring into a space. Are you adding calm or feeding tension? When you walk into a room, pause, observe, listen, notice the energy before acting. This subtle mindfulness sets you apart, not as someone reactive, but as someone grounded, present, and responsive. Want to cultivate this? Start by being fully present. Put the phone down, make eye contact, listen not just to words, but to tone and body language. These might seem like small gestures, but they have a profound emotional impact. People remember how you made them feel, and those who feel seen, heard, and respected are naturally drawn to you. Ask yourself, am I creating a positive atmosphere in my interactions? Or am I adding tension without realizing it? The more mindful you are, the more magnetic your presence becomes, not because you're trying to stand out, but because you offer something deeply grounding. In a world overwhelmed with ego, noise, and speed, emotional intelligence becomes a quiet superpower. It doesn't need to be announced. It's felt, and it leaves a mark long after the conversation ends. Which leads us to habit 11, consistency and reliability. Few traits are as silently attractive as someone who shows up, again and again. In a world where promises are often broken, and attention is fleeting, being someone who can be counted on is rare and powerful. You don't need to be loud about it. You don't need to constantly remind people how dependable you are. Your actions speak, quietly, steadily, and over time, they tell a story of trust. Consistency builds confidence in yourself and in others. It tells people, you can count on me. Whether it's showing up for a friend, keeping your word, or simply doing what you said you would. Consistency earns quiet respect, not because you're perfect, but because you're reliable, even when it's hard. In today's world, where canceled plans and broken promises are the norm, reliability stands out. It doesn't mean you never falter. It means you take your commitments seriously. That you don't vanish when things get tough. That you honor your word, even when no one is watching. The Stoics placed a high value on discipline and integrity. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That's consistency in action. You don't need to broadcast your principles. You live them. People see it, and they respect it. Reliability isn't just about external commitments, it starts with you. Keeping promises to yourself, honoring your routines, following through on your goals. These small acts build internal trust. And that internal trust becomes quiet, radiant confidence. It's also about emotional steadiness. People are naturally drawn to those who remain grounded, even when the world feels chaotic. The person who brings calm into a room, who doesn't overreact, who shows up the same, day after day, that emotional consistency creates safety. And safety creates attraction. Ask yourself, am I someone others can rely on? Not just when it's easy, but when it's inconvenient. If the answer is no, start small. Be consistent in your habits. Keep your word, especially to yourself. From there, your outer world will begin to reflect that inner stability. Reliability doesn't chase admiration. It earns it, quietly, slowly, powerfully, in a world full of chaos and unpredictability. Someone who is steady, dependable, and true to their word becomes unforgettable. And as we step into the final insight of this journey, we'll explore the keystone habit that ties everything together, the quiet magnetism of integrity. True strength doesn't just make you more attractive, it makes you unforgettable. It turns you into the kind of person who doesn't just walk into a room, but leaves a lasting, positive impression on every single person you meet. Real attractiveness isn't about volume, flash, or being the most visible presence in the crowd. It's about something much deeper. It's about building habits that speak quietly, but powerfully, for themselves. Throughout this episode, we've uncovered 11 socially magnetic habits. Each one is rooted in calm confidence, quiet strength, and genuine human connection. Together, they form the foundation of a presence that doesn't need to shout to be felt. When you embrace your authentic independence, you send a message of deep self-respect. You're not waiting on external validation to define your worth. By mastering silent elegance, you develop an aura of grace that speaks volumes without needing a word. Through subtle sophistication, you demonstrate that the smallest details matter. When you're fully present, you connect on a level that many have forgotten in today's distracted world. A touch of mystery keeps others curious. It makes them want to learn more. Lean in closer. Cultural wisdom shows that you're open-minded, empathetic, and enriched by the diversity of the world. And when you lead with compassion, sprinkle in humor, honor self-care, elevate your emotional intelligence, and remain consistently reliable, you become someone others instinctively trust and admire. These habits don't require you to become someone else. In fact, they're an invitation to return to your most powerful self, the version of you that's grounded, intentional, and deeply aware. Silent attraction isn't about grabbing attention, it's about becoming someone who quietly earns admiration. Someone who doesn't try to impress, but instead inspires. It's not about being flawless. It's about being genuine, showing up fully, living with purpose. And when you do that, something shifts. Not just in how people see you, but in how you begin to see yourself. You start walking through the world with calm assurance, with a deeper sense of peace, with the kind of self-respect that doesn't beg for attention, but commands it without asking. In the end, the real magnetism lies not in the noise, but in the stillness, not in trying harder, but in becoming more aligned with who you truly are. So take a moment now. Reflect. Which of these habits speaks to you most? Which one will you start with today? Remember, transformation doesn't come from sudden, grand gestures. It comes from small, consistent steps. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. If you found value in this episode, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you content that inspires and uplifts. Until next time, stay grounded, stay intentional, and keep becoming the quiet, powerful presence you were always meant to be.